Good evening, internet, or morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this or where you're from. My name is Michael Ham, a very comfy Michael Ham, but a Michael Ham nonetheless, and this is Michael Ham Does Stuff, a show where Michael Ham, that's me, does stuff, and if you're lucky, things. On today's show, we're doing stuff. The shirt's too tight to roll up. This is the Michael Ham Intros to Stuff song. This is the Michael Ham Intros to Stuff song. This is the Michael Ham Intros to Stuff song. 1, you're welcome for that intro. 2, today's show we are going to be discussing the results of the Patreon quiz. Just gonna be a really short video, really like just us family here tonight, but I just want to go over some of the results. It was just, I think you remember a little while ago, posted 8 questions, asked you guys to fill it out. Some of the answers are just really surprising, so I wanted to talk about them and what they might mean for the future of Patreon and get your comments and your questions and your concerns and other stuff. So let's get started. Question 1, are you currently a supporter on Patreon? Yes, you all are. Thank you very much. Question 2 was what types of posts interest you, and the top 3 were exclusive images from photo shoots, exclusive selfies, and behind the scenes for building cosplay and photo shoots. This is interesting to me because I definitely give you a lot of exclusive images from photo shoots. Every month I upload a new album or do a new cosplay, and you get every image from that plus some selfies, whereas Instagram might get 2 or 3 of each costume depending. I try and keep that pretty consistent. I try to make sure that you guys get everything, whereas I need some of that content on my Instagram so people still believe that I'm even cosplaying. Exclusive selfies was something that I found interesting because I do a lot of that on the Snapchat side of it, so it's really difficult for me to sort of also do that, like post that as well, if that makes any sense. But I'll try and do more of that stuff, not just there. Some people also picked the other category and then wrote nudes. Not terribly surprised. Question 3 really fucked with me because it said, would you prefer digital, online, or physical mailed out reward? And 57% of you wanted digital rewards as opposed to physical rewards. Now every month I bust my ass sending out physical rewards. So it was interesting to me that 57% of you didn't want physical rewards, which is totally fine if that's the case, but I don't want to be busting my ass if you don't want those. So maybe that's something we can talk about. Maybe something that I'll post about and try and figure out, because I don't want to be wasting my time giving you things that you don't want. Question 4 was about the mailed out rewards, the physical rewards that I do and what you would want to see out of those. The number 1 was prints, which I do, small prints, which I do. Then 3rd was t-shirts, which now that I've got a logo, now that I've sort of figured that out, this is something I could get into probably. Pins, buttons, stickers, all that stuff. Again, everything got votes, but the top were definitely prints and posters. The lighting is so bad sometimes. Question 5 was what's your favorite part of my Patreon, and that was really, really sweet, you guys. I won't like read the answers or anything, but like that felt really good to read, so thank you. Oh, does the light go bad when I put my hat down? It's a little overwhelming because 245 of you essentially did this survey, which means there are 245 really nice things written here. So thank you guys for that. But don't worry, bitch, because we get into your least favorite parts, which was actually also kind of sweet because a lot of you said nothing, which thank you for that. It's really kind, but I do know that there are ways for me to sort of improve what I'm doing, and I want to make it fit you guys a little bit better. So I was looking forward to this one. Let's take a look. So some people didn't like the repeats, like I would repeat posts, which is something I do. If you've been here for a long time, you've probably caught on to that. But it's because a lot of the content gets so far back that some of my favorite shots or some of the funniest things that I've done haven't been seen by anyone new on the site. So I will sort of repost old stuff, but I try and do so as an addition to my regularly kind of scheduled posts. Some people thought there's too much spandex, which I completely agree with. The thing that's important to know is like pulling a costume out of your ass every month, pulling a new costume out of your ass every month is very difficult when you're doing everything else that life requires. So there are times when I need a spandex costume. A lot of my favorite characters are also spandex clad characters like Green Lantern and Spider-Man and Superman, and you know, that makes it hard to sort of avoid spandex, but I 100% see where you're coming from, and I do agree. Some people want to see more of my behind-the-scenes cosplay stuff, some of the intricate stuff, which I will try and post about. It's just once I fucking get going on cosplay and building stuff, I'm just focused on it. I have my phone away, I'm not answering text messages, so it's very difficult for me to like go and get my phone and like try and film stuff or like take pictures of things, especially because my hands are probably covered in spray paint or contact cement or foam dust or any other number of chemicals. So the idea of sort of like recording that has to be done consciously on my part, which I will try and work on, because obviously this is important to some of you. You were willing to comment on it, and it was something you wanted to see from me anyway, so let's do it. Too many shirts. I agree. There's a few other things, like not enough personal stories, which is fair. I don't really like to talk about my personal life very much. I don't know, I might try and get into a little bit more. We'll see. I don't know. The problem with talking about a lot of my personal stuff is once it's out there, it's sort of out there. I ran into this issue a few times where I've offhandedly commented on something on Facebook and people have taken that and written entire news articles about it. So I'm very cautious of giving away too much information about who I am and what my life is and who's involved in that and what my politics are and who my family is and everything like that. Ironically, some people want more spandex, which it's your prerogative. But one thing that is definitely common on here is people want to see a lot more lewd stuff and sexy stuff, and I totally get that, and I will try to do that because it makes me feel good to do that stuff. So we will hopefully see a lot more of that soon. More videos, definitely something I'm trying to work on, obviously. Drunk videos, yes, more of those. I would love to do those. And about 190 other things that people said. Question 7 was what would be a good incentive to increase your support? So like, what would it take for you to move up a level? So this was really fascinating to me. Someone said monthly Skype, which I do. So bump it up. Oh, y'all are nasty. Y'all are some dirty, dirty, nasty, nasty boys. Oh man. Some people are asking for a bit more clarity on what the levels are, what they entail, or sneak peeks to see what it's like to be in those other levels, which that makes sense if I'm being honest. I could try that. I'm hesitant. I really like the idea of the exclusivity of each tier. So giving that content to other tiers is sort of, I don't know, it's like if you were to ask the Batman how they would feel about letting some of their content go to the, say, sidekick level, I'm sure that they wouldn't feel good about that, as much as the sidekick level would like to see the Batman's content. And again, there's a lot of really kind, really sweet words in here of people saying that nothing, like they're giving as much as they can, which genuinely means the world to me, so thank you all so much for that. And another thing that I find really fascinating about this question is someone was saying like to make more levels, so instead of jumping from a 40 to a 60, have a 50 that's somewhere in between, and, you know, have those levels go up. And I've thought about doing that, and I'm just not sure offering those would make a huge difference. I like the idea of jumping up drastically in each level and offering drastically different things with each level. I think that's what makes the levels work. I mean, I don't know, it might be something worth giving a try. I might do something with like digital tiers and physical tiers, or this is just the Snapchat tier, this is just a print tier, or something along those lines, but I haven't really figured out what to do yet. Question 8 was just basically any comments, suggestions, reviews you'd like to leave anonymously, and honestly, like, just a lot of really, really kind words, a lot of like, keep up the good work, love what you're doing, blah, 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 and like, a lot of people looking out for me, saying to like, calm down and not be so stressed about everything. I appreciate that. It's gonna... This was supposed to be like a 3-minute video, but I've been filming for 28 minutes. Cool. Honestly, the last question is something that maybe I shouldn't really share with all of you. There's a lot of really personal stuff in here, nice and otherwise, but I think that this question is something that I need to actually read and think about thoroughly before I just sort of spout off some of the answers and talk about them impromptu on camera. So yeah, thank you guys so much for sort of sitting through this. I know it wasn't like a fun Michael Ham does stuff video, it was just sort of me talking for a very long time about stuff you probably don't care about, but I'll do my best to edit it to make it less boring, or at the very least, not almost 30 minutes long. Okay, love you. Bye.